Hey there, and welcome to a deep dive into a profession that's so much more than meets the eye. Pun very much intended. You've requested a closer look at optical technicians, and we're diving headfirst into RoleCatcher's in-depth career guide to uncover what makes this hands-on field tick.
It's a pleasure to be here. Optical technicians, they often fly under the radar, but they're the hidden heroes behind those perfectly crafted eyeglasses that so many of us rely on.
It's true, we tend to take them for granted. So let's change that. Right off the bat, this RoleCatcher guide surprised me. It's not just about fitting frames. There's this fascinating blend of meticulous craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology that really brings the field to life. What's your take on that?
Absolutely. You're not just shaping lenses, you're operating precision instruments like lensometers and edge polishers, working with high-tech materials, and increasingly using computer-aided design and manufacturing, or CAD/CAM as it's known. And the human element, helping someone see the world with clarity, that's powerful stuff.
The guide actually mentions that the optical technician field is projected to grow by 12% over the next decade, which is almost twice as fast as the average for all occupations.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yeah.
No surprise considering we have an aging population and, well, more people needing glasses as they get older. It makes you wonder, where do these skilled professionals actually do their work?
You've got it. It's a surprisingly diverse work environment. While many optical technicians find themselves in optical labs or manufacturing facilities where they're crafting lenses and assembling eyeglasses, you'll also find them in retail settings like eyeglass stores, working directly with customers.
So is it a good mix of hands-on work behind the scenes and interacting with people, making sure those frames fit just right? Speaking of teamwork, the guide also highlights the collaborative nature of the job. It's not just about working solo in a lab, right?
Absolutely not. Collaboration is key. Optical technicians work hand in hand with opticians who are experts in fitting and dispensing eyeglasses. They're in constant communication, ensuring the lenses perfectly match the prescription and meet the patient's needs. And let's not forget about ophthalmologists, those specialized doctors who diagnose and treat eye diseases. They're all part of this intricate dance to ensure optimal vision care.
It's like a finely tuned machine, with each professional playing a critical role.
Speaking of roles, I'm curious about what a typical career trajectory looks like for an aspiring optical technician. What does that path to becoming a seasoned professional entail? Well, like most career paths, it often starts with those entry-level positions, which are essentially your apprenticeship in the optical world. This is where you're mastering the fundamentals, things like assembling eyeglass components, repairing simple damages, and really getting comfortable with the tools and machinery.
It's like learning the ABCs of optical craftsmanship before you can write the whole novel, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the essential skills and knowledge areas that are particularly important for success even at that entry-level stage?
You've hit the nail on the head. It's all about building a solid foundation. On the technical side, you need proficiency with machinery. We're talking lens cutters, grinders, polishers. You're going to become very well acquainted with these tools. And it's not just about knowing how to operate them, it's about understanding the materials you're shaping. Different lens materials have their own characteristics and require specific techniques.
It's like being a chef, right? You need to know the difference between dicing and mincing, but you also need to understand how different ingredients react to heat and time.
That's a great analogy. And just like a chef aims for a perfectly balanced dish, an optical technician strives for precision in cutting, shaping, and fitting those lenses. It's meticulous work, and attention to detail is paramount.
It sounds like there's an art to it even with all the technology involved.
Absolutely. But speaking of technology, it's changing the game. Familiarity with CAD/CAM is becoming increasingly important for aspiring optical technicians. This technology is revolutionizing the design and manufacturing process, making it more precise and efficient.
So not only do you need steady hands and a keen eye for detail, but you also need to be tech savvy. What struck me was the guide's emphasis on continuous learning. This isn't a stagnant field by any means, is it?
Not at all. Continuous learning is key. The world of optics is constantly evolving with new technologies, materials, and techniques emerging all the time. Staying updated ensures your skills remain sharp and relevant. And here's the thing, it's not just about the technical aspects. Those soft skills can make or break your success as an optical technician.
I see what you mean. You're interacting with colleagues, opticians, even customers sometimes.
Exactly. Good communication, patience, a service-oriented approach. These are invaluable assets, especially when you're working with people and their vision. You're not just crafting eyeglasses, you're playing a part in helping someone experience the world with clarity.
That's a powerful way to think about it. It's not just a technical job. It's a service-oriented profession that directly impacts people's lives.
Yeah.
Now, the guide didn't shy away from the challenges either. It mentioned both pros and cons of the profession. What stood out to you?
Let's start with the positives, shall we? One of the most appealing aspects, as we touched upon earlier, is the high demand for skilled technicians. The guide actually quantifies it. The field is projected to grow much faster than the average for all occupations. This translates into job security and, well, good salary potential is always a plus.
That's definitely something to consider, especially in today's job market.
And it's not just about the job market. The work itself can be incredibly rewarding. You're working with your hands, crafting precise instruments, and you get to see the direct impact of your efforts on people's lives. That sense of satisfaction, that feeling of making a tangible difference, that's something many optical technicians cherish.
It's a career that combines stability with a sense of purpose. What about the other side of the coin? What are some of the challenges that the guide highlighted?
Well, the work can be physically demanding at times. You might find yourself standing for long periods, and in certain work environments, there's potential exposure to dust and chemicals.
That makes sense. Those are definitely factors to consider, especially for someone who might be sensitive to those kinds of environments.
Absolutely. And while the precision required is a plus for detail-oriented folks, it can also lead to eye strain if you're not careful. Proper lighting, regular breaks, and good posture are essential for avoiding eye fatigue.
It's a good reminder that even though you're crafting tools to enhance vision, you need to be mindful of your own eye health in the process.
Exactly. And while the guide mentions these challenges, it also emphasizes that they're manageable with the right precautions and a focus on well-being.
It's all about finding that balance between pursuing your passion and prioritizing your health. Now, before we move on to the nitty-gritty of career stages, I'm curious, did any other interesting tidbits from the guide catch your eye?
You know what surprised me? The guide's emphasis on mathematics and production processes. While it might seem counterintuitive, a solid grasp of math is actually essential for success as an optical technician.
Really? I wouldn't have thought of that. How so?
Well, think about it. You're dealing with prescriptions, lens curvatures, angles, measurements. It's all rooted in mathematical principles. And when it comes to production processes, understanding how things work from start to finish, ensuring quality control at each step, that's crucial for a smooth and efficient workflow.
So it's not just about being good with your hands. It's about having a good head for numbers and a knack for process optimization as well.
Precisely. It's a field that truly blends artistry, technology, and a good dose of analytical thinking.
It sounds like there's more to this profession than meets the eye, pun intended, again. We'll be back in a moment to dive even deeper into the specific tasks and career stages of an optical technician. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. We've established that optical technicians need a unique blend of skills and knowledge to thrive. But let's get even more specific. The guide does a great job of breaking down the typical career path into distinct stages. What can someone just starting out, fresh out of training, expect in those initial entry-level roles?
Imagine this. You walk into a bustling optical lab surrounded by lenses of all shapes and sizes, frames waiting to be assembled, and a whole array of tools that might seem a bit intimidating at first. Your mission at this stage is to master the fundamentals, becoming fluent in the language of optical craftsmanship.
So it's like learning the alphabet before you can write a novel. What are some of those foundational skills?
Exactly. You'll be assembling those eyeglass components, lenses, frames, even those tiny screws that always seem to disappear, carefully and precisely. Think of it as building blocks for clearer vision. You'll also be learning the art of repair, which could be anything from replacing a broken nose pad to realigning a wonky frame.
That sounds like it requires a steady hand and a meticulous eye. I can imagine those repairs being pretty intricate.
You're right, it's detailed work and you're constantly learning. As you become more comfortable with the basics, you might even assist in the design process of new eyewear models.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So there's a creative element even at the entry level. What's that design process like?
It involves considering factors like face shapes, current style trends, even the functionality of the eyewear. It's fascinating, and seeing a design go from concept to finished product can be incredibly rewarding, especially for someone who enjoys that blend of artistry and technical precision.
That's amazing. Now, the guide also mentioned that entry-level technicians work with prescriptions. That seems like a big responsibility early on. What does that involve?
You're right, it is a significant responsibility. It means learning to shape and grind lenses according to those specific prescriptions, ensuring they have the correct curvature and focal length so the wearer sees clearly. You'll also be trained in applying specialized coatings to the lenses.
Coatings. What are some examples of those and what's their purpose?
Great question. There are anti-reflective coatings, which reduce glare, especially during nighttime driving or working at a computer. And scratch-resistant coatings for durability, perfect for kids or, well, anyone prone to dropping their glasses. Each coating requires a specific technique and a deep understanding of the materials involved.
Wow, I had no idea there was so much that goes into a single pair of eyeglasses. I'm starting to see why that foundation of knowledge is so important. But what happens once you've mastered those entry-level skills? When do you know you're ready for more?
Think of it like this. You've learned the alphabet, now you're ready to start writing sentences, maybe even short stories. That's the intermediate stage where things get even more engaging. You've got a solid grasp of the fundamentals, and now you're ready to tackle more complex tasks and contribute at a higher level.
Okay, so you're moving from assembling sentences to crafting stories. What does that look like in the day-to-day work of an intermediate optical technician?
Well, this is where you might find yourself designing and developing new eyewear models, not just assisting. You get to tap into your creativity more fully, considering market trends, customer preferences, and emerging technologies. Are people looking for sustainable materials? Is there a new lens technology that offers superior clarity? These are the kinds of questions you might be exploring.
So you're thinking about the bigger picture, not just the technical execution. I imagine that involves a lot of collaboration.
Absolutely. You'll be working closely with opticians, optometrists, even material scientists, ensuring those new designs meet the practical needs of wearers and align with the latest advancements in lens technology.
It's like you're bridging the gap between cutting-edge technology and the everyday experience of seeing clearly.
Exactly. And remember those complex repairs we touched upon earlier? Well, as an intermediate technician, you might become the go-to person for those tricky cases.
What kind of repairs are we talking about at this level? Give me an example.
Think frame alignment issues that require a deep understanding of the geometry of the face, lens refitting for someone who's had a significant prescription change, or intricate repairs on high-end frames made from materials like titanium or buffalo horn, things that demand an extra level of care and precision.
It sounds like you need the steady hand of a surgeon and the eye of an artist. It's incredible. But it's not just about handling the technical aspects, is it? The guide mentioned mentorship as a key part of this stage. What does that involve?
It's about paying it forward. Remember how valuable that guidance was when you were starting out? Now you're in a position to train and guide those entry-level technicians, sharing your knowledge and expertise to help them navigate those early stages.
It's like becoming a master craftsperson, passing down your knowledge to the next generation.
Exactly. And as you mentor others, you're also staying sharp and solidifying your own understanding. But mentorship isn't the only way you're contributing at this level. Remember our conversation about technology changing the game.
Right, CAD/CAM, 3D printing, all those advancements we keep hearing about. How does that factor into the work of an intermediate optical technician?
This is where you'll be at the forefront of implementing and operating that cutting-edge equipment. Imagine programming a machine to cut a lens with micron-level precision, or using 3D scanning technology to create custom-fit frames.
That sounds both exciting and intimidating.
It definitely keeps you on your toes. Continuous learning becomes even more crucial at this stage. You'll need to stay updated on the latest software, equipment, and techniques, attending industry conferences, taking online courses, always pushing your knowledge further.
So it's a dynamic environment where you're constantly adapting and evolving.
Exactly. And as you become more comfortable with these technologies, you'll play a key role in quality control, making sure every pair of eyeglasses that leaves the lab meets the highest standards of precision and clarity.
That makes sense. You've got the experience, the technical knowledge, and the understanding of the entire process.
Right. You'll be conducting thorough inspections, using specialized equipment to test lens accuracy, making sure those anti-reflective coatings are flawless, and ensuring each pair of eyeglasses perfectly matches the prescription. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's also incredibly rewarding to know that you're playing a vital role in helping people see clearly.
It sounds like the perfect stepping stone to that senior level position where you can really make a lasting impact. Speaking of which, what does it take to reach that pinnacle in the field of optical technology? What sets those individuals apart?
Picture this. You've honed your skills over years of experience. You're a master of both traditional craftsmanship and cutting-edge technologies. You have a deep understanding of the optical industry as a whole, and you've got a passion for mentorship and innovation. That's the foundation of a senior-level optical technician.
It sounds like a rare combination of technical expertise, leadership qualities, and a genuine passion for the field. So what are some of the specific responsibilities you might encounter at that senior level?
Well, at this stage, it's not just about what you do with your hands, but also how you lead and inspire others. You might find yourself overseeing an entire production line, managing a team of technicians, or even running your own optical lab.
So it becomes as much about managing people and processes as it is about crafting eyeglasses.
Exactly. You're responsible for the efficiency and quality of the entire production process from start to finish. This could involve developing and implementing operational procedures, optimizing workflows to eliminate bottlenecks, and constantly seeking ways to improve efficiency and productivity.
It's like being the conductor of an orchestra, making sure every instrument is in tune and playing in harmony to create something beautiful.
I love that analogy. And just like a conductor needs to understand how each instrument contributes to the overall sound, you need to have a deep understanding of every stage of the optical production process. You'll be troubleshooting complex technical issues, collaborating with suppliers and manufacturers to source the highest quality materials, and staying ahead of the curve when it comes to industry advancements.
So you're not just keeping the orchestra playing, you're also composing new music and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Precisely. Continuous learning takes on a whole new meaning at this level. You're not just keeping up with the latest technologies, you're anticipating future trends, attending international conferences, maybe even contributing to research and development, always pushing the field forward.
Wow, it sounds like a dynamic and intellectually stimulating career path, even at the highest levels.
It certainly is. And for those who are passionate about the field of optics and driven to make a real difference in people's lives, it can be an incredibly rewarding journey.
It's been fascinating to explore the career trajectory of an optical technician. But before we wrap up, I'm curious about one more thing. The guide touched upon the importance of well-being in this profession. Can you elaborate on that a bit? What are some of the considerations for someone entering this field?
That's a great question, and it's something that often gets overlooked. While we've talked a lot about the technical skills, the creativity, and the leadership opportunities, it's important to remember that this job can be physically demanding at times. We mentioned standing for long periods and potential exposure to dust and chemicals, especially in certain work environments.
Right, those are some of the cons we discussed earlier.
Exactly. And while these aspects are manageable with the right precautions, it's crucial for aspiring optical technicians to be aware of them from the start. The guide emphasizes the importance of maintaining good posture, taking regular breaks to reduce eye strain, ironic, right, since you're helping others see clearly, and using proper safety equipment when handling chemicals or operating machinery.
It's like any profession that involves detailed work and potential strain on your eyes.
Yeah.
You need to be proactive about protecting your well-being.
Absolutely. And it's not just about physical health, it's about mental well-being too. The precision required in this field can be demanding, and deadlines can be tight. So having good stress management techniques, maintaining a healthy work-life balance, these are essential for long-term success and job satisfaction.
It's a good reminder that no matter how passionate you are about your work, taking care of yourself should always be a top priority. This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of optical technicians. We've covered a lot of ground, from the meticulous work of lens crafting to the leadership skills required at the senior level. It's amazing how much goes into creating something that, honestly, we often take for granted. Before we even started this deep dive, I had no idea that optical technicians play such a vital role in, well, the world of vision care.
It's true.
Yeah.
They're the often unsung heroes who blend precision, artistry, and, well, a deep understanding of optics to help us, all of us, see the world with clarity.
And what's even more inspiring is the dedication to continuous learning and innovation that defines this field. From mastering, traditional craftsmanship to embracing, like we were talking about, cutting-edge technologies. Optical technicians are constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the personal satisfaction that comes with knowing you're making a tangible difference in people's lives. Every pair of eyeglasses, every perfectly fitted contact lens represents an opportunity to improve someone's vision and, in many cases, their overall quality of life.
It's a powerful reminder that even in our very technology-driven world, those hands-on skills, that human touch remains irreplaceable. Now, before we wrap things up, I wanted to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the importance of well-being in this profession.
You're right, we can't overlook that aspect. While the work is incredibly rewarding, it's important for aspiring optical technicians to be mindful of the physical demands. We've talked about the need for good posture, regular breaks to reduce eye strain.
Right.
Ironic, right?
Yeah.
Since you're helping others see clearly, and using proper safety equipment when handling chemicals or operating machinery.
It's like a long-distance runner training for a marathon. They might be passionate about the sport, but they also need to listen to their body, take care of themselves to avoid injury and, well, burnout.
Exactly. And just as a runner needs to find their pace, optical technicians need to find a rhythm that allows them to perform at their best without sacrificing their well-being. It's about creating a sustainable career path, one that allows you to make a meaningful contribution while also prioritizing your physical and mental health.
It's a holistic approach to a career that's both demanding and incredibly fulfilling.
Well said.
This has been an eye-opening deep dive, pun intended, of course. I feel like we've not only scratched the surface, but polished our understanding of what it truly means to be an optical technician.
The pleasure was all mine. I always enjoy the opportunity to shed light on this, often overlooked but essential profession.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey behind the scenes of the optical world. We hope you've gained a newfound appreciation for the artistry, precision, and dedication that goes into crafting those eyeglasses and contact lenses that so many of us rely on every day. Until next time, keep those questions coming. And remember, the world is full of fascinating deep dives waiting to be explored.